What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Lockdown 23-1. Today, we will be witnessing two individuals being sentenced to death. We're not going to talk too much in the intro. We're going to get right into it, but I believe one is coming from Ohio, and the other one's coming from Florida. But if this is the kind of content that you're into, all things prison and crime related, do not forget to hit the like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave. Alright, so for the first one, we got Justin Meyers, and this case is absolutely insane. Coming from Ohio. Austin Meyers, now 26, was convicted in October 2014 for the stabbing death of Justin Back. The murder happened during a robbery with another claimed man, Timothy Mosley. Now this is the crazy part about it. The guy that actually took the man's life physically doesn't get the death penalty because he testified on him for setting up the whole soiree. I can't even imagine, even if I did set something up like that, I couldn't even imagine being sentenced to death if I didn't kill him. But this right here is his last statement to the jury before being sentenced. It's always interesting to see what a person's going to say to try to persuade them from giving them the death penalty.
What's your name?
Austin Meyers.
Austin, is there something that you would like to say to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I can only imagine the pain and loss felt by Mark and Sandy Cates, and by Jacob Back, Justin's brother. I have brothers and sisters myself. I can only imagine what it would be like to lose one of them. I'm sorry that this happened. And I know that doesn't bring Justin back, but I'm sorry.
You're about to get
I wish
smoked,
I could
bro.
go back in time and stop this before it even happened. I can't. If you choose for me to die, it's only going to cause more pain and suffering for another family. Not me. It won't hurt me. I won't feel anything. It's going to hurt more innocent people.
Oh, no, man.
My mom and my dad. And my brothers Bryce and Josh over there. And Carson and Sage. To my sisters, Alex and Jenna, and Eva and Cammie. The people that I love. I'm asking you not to do this to my brothers and my sisters who love me and look up to me. I ask you not to spread this pain any further to any more innocent people.
It's actually kind of thought-provoking to think about the repercussions of his family members. Even though he did do a gruesome crime, people still love him. I spoke about that in a video in the past as well, but yeah, shit gets crazy in the courtroom, man.
The terrible events of this past January have caused more than enough pain already. They won't fix anything. It won't bring Justin back. It's only going to hurt more innocent people.
It might hurt your family, but it can bring joy to another.
I'm not asking you to spare my life so I can hurt anyone. I want to help people. I want to help stop tragedies like this from happening. All I'm asking you for is a chance for me to become a better person. I think there's a lot of good things I can do with my life if you allow me to keep my life.
The court finds that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the aggravating circumstance outweighs the mitigating factor. Therefore, the sentence of death shall be imposed upon Austin Gregory Meyers on the charge of aggravated murder.
There you have it, ladies. Jump smoked to the core. I believe he appealed it as well. And got smoked again. That's what happens when you set up a friend of yours. I swear, man, stories like this just embed within me never to trust nobody. I need to hear y'all's honest opinion because this case is just crazy. He didn't technically kill the guy, but he set it up. If he didn't set it up, then the guy'd still be alive. It's just crazy to think the guy that killed the person ended up snitching on the guy that didn't even kill him and got a time cut. Not really a time cut, just didn't get death penalty. I'm sure that was the stipulation for testifying. Unreal. You know, let me know what you think in the comments section below. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Florida man by the name of Tisdale. He was convicted of killing Sergeant Gary Morales during a traffic stop and was sentenced to death following a 9-3 recommendation by jurors. And just like the last clip, this man gets a chance to address the court before sentencing.
One day I will walk free, and that is by the grace of God. And it's through the true justice, which is is a gift to all mankind, which is freedom, forgiveness, and faith. Therefore, I know that that is the reason why I'm still alive today, and that is the reason why I have a voice to speak to all of the young men who don't have a voice to speak, whose parents are still grieving and have no reason to know why, have no understanding of why their son or their daughters have passed away by the hands of so-called justice. Therefore, when I walk free, I will be a voice to all the young men who have no voice. So therefore, I want to say also to the Morales family that I am truly regretful to be responsible for the pain that they have today, because man is made in God's image, and a man is someone who is supposed to be the carrier and the protector for their family. So I can understand what kind of hurt that will.
This guy's lipping is driving me insane, LL Cool J.
Into that family. And I want to say that I am truly sorry, and I'm truly regretful as a man to be able to sit here in this position to be the man with the finger pointed at.
What was that?
Be responsible for this situation. But I want to say that no man was there to know my heart. No man was there to know what I had in my eyes and the feeling that I had in my chest on February 28, 2013. So therefore, I just want to say that I ask that something changes about the law, because there is no balance to this law. That's what I ask. No matter what my future holds, there's some kind of law that can balance. There will be a perpetual cycle of violence, because man cannot estimate what reactions a young man will have towards someone who carries a badge and a gun. So I do want to say to all the young men out there on the streets to follow peace and see your next man not as a man but as yourself, not as an opposite man but as yourself. Whether they're police or whether they're a person on the street, or whether you're a police, don't see a criminal as a criminal, see him as yourself, because he has the same blood and breathes the same air that you do. And that's all I have to say. And God bless everybody, and I just hope that everything works out for the better. Thank you.
Let's get into the sentencing and see if the judge was persuaded at all by his speech.
In carefully weighing the aggravating factors that were established by the state beyond a reasonable doubt against the mitigating factors established by the defense, it is not simply a quantitative analysis, but is a qualitative one. It is this court's duty to look both
quantum, tenon. What was that word he just said?
A quantitative analysis, but is a
quantitative analysis. That was nice.
It is this court's duty to look both the quality and the nature of the aggravating and mitigating circumstances which have been established.
No lamp.
Under such an analysis, and upon reflection and consideration, the proven aggravating factors substantially outweigh the mitigating statutory and non-statutory mitigating factors. Therefore, Eriese Alfonso Tisdale, as to count one of the indictment, first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer with a firearm in the lawful execution of his legal duties, it is the sentence of this court and the judgment of the law that you be sentenced to death for the first-degree murder of Sergeant Gary Morales. As to count two of the indictment, aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer while in possession of a firearm, the court sentenced you to serve 15 years in the Department of Corrections. I am required to impose a 3-year minimum mandatory sentence as required by Florida law. As to count 3, will adjudicate you guilty of possession of firearm by a convicted felon. Sentence you to serve 15 years in the Department of Corrections to run consecutive to the sentence imposed on counts 1 and 2. You'll also be given, I am also required to impose a 3-year minimum mandatory sentence on that offense. As to count 4 of the indictment, fleeing and eluding, the court adjudicates you guilty, sentence you to serve 5 years in prison to run consecutive to the sentences imposed on counts 1, 2, and 3. You'll be given credit for 1,156 days served by you on that sentence up until today. I'll assess the statutory required court costs, $100 cost of prosecution, and the public defender
like
costs
fresh
made
trout
reference to earlier without any further court hearing.
But I do have some good news, actually, for old Tisdale, and I'm sure his attorney told him immediately the next day. Just days before sentencing, the United States Supreme Court declared Florida's sentencing scheme unconstitutional. The law now says that a death sentence requires a unanimous jury recommendation for a judge to impose it. A resentencing date has not yet been set. Now, this is the latest article that I could find. Maybe there might be a newer one. Maybe he does have a court date set for a new sentencing. I don't know, but it was pretty crazy that they even went on with it if they knew that the law changed, you know, just a couple days before. So I'm going to try to do a little more research on this case, but let me know what you think about it. I mean, if you got the death penalty in your state and you kill an officer or sergeant at that, what do you think is going to happen? Death penalty for sure.